Hey everyone, your designers are here. I'm Anita at Cedar Hill Farmhouse.
And I'm Yvonne at Stone Gable.
And I'm Kelly at My Soulful Home.
We've got tips and tricks and decorating advice for you today, so let's get started.
So, hey everybody, today is episode 251, The Worst Decor Trends in the Last 50 Years, Debated or Not.
You know we love a train wreck.
Well, we do. But some of these things you just don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to talk about them and see what we think. And we'd love to hear what you think. In the meantime, if you're listening and you want to go to the show notes, you can head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/251. So we're going to start out with a real kicker. Kind of a
let's
hoot.
do it.
And I think we're all going to fall on one side of the line for this one. How about toilet rugs and furry toilet seat covers?
Make it stop.
Ew, just definitive word.
I think someone did make it stop before we even got to talk about it. But you guys, it was a thing. Of course, I don't think I was around to see the birth of that trend, but I have experienced a vinyl squishy toilet seat cover, which I believe was bright yellow. That I'm sorry, Mom, if you're listening to this episode, I think you actually
one of those
purchased for that gray and yellow bathroom we had.
So they were considered softer to sit on. That's why people bought them, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm,
So, but then
see now, I'm already feel like I need to get my gloves on. I'm just already kind of,
yes,
a little. This is a little.
This whole thing is making Anita twitch. But the toilet rugs, as you will remember, they hugged the bottom of the toilet.
Yes.
And the base. And then they went over the cover, the lid that you opened and closed, which, oh my goodness. I'm just not really sure why that even started. But it did. So I think that one is safely to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all agree to that. No one's wanting to bring that back. How about stenciled walls or decals?
Well, I think the old-fashioned ones where it was used as a border around the ceiling or a chair rail, and if it had ducks or bows or little things like that, no. And I think those are a thing of
I thought they were talking about
ago.
the words. Aren't they talking about the words?
But
I don't think I've ever seen the bows or ducks.
Well, they're saying, but like stencils and things like that. But I think the ones of today look very beautiful. I mean, you can stencil a floor, you can stencil a fireplace, you can stencil a backsplash and look really trendy and updated. As far as, Anita, you're talking about the words on a wall.
Well, that's what I thought this was.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one actually, because I think sometimes they can look cute, but they can also look very dated.
Well, it also sort of borders on, excuse the pun, wallpaper borders, which is also on the list. So I have seen the ducks, walking in a row on wallpaper border. I have seen them doing that on a stencil. I think it was sort of the dawn of the farmhouse, like way back, when my mom had her really darling little gift shop out in Sag Harbor, Long Island, and we would go and purchase things at the Javits Center and the gift shows and stuff to have merchandise for the store. It was, everybody was big into the ducks and the cows and the little pigs.
My mom had the ducks.
Yeah, it was that sort of thing. So I think that is kind of what they're talking about here, stenciling with that sort of thing. Nowadays, there's some beautiful stencils. I mean, you can see these bloggers doing these wonderful things, stenciling as if it's wallpaper or maybe fleur-de-lis or things like that. So I think it can be done very tastefully now. So I wouldn't completely cross that off the list of possibilities. But if you have wallpaper border and it has ducks in a row, you just might want to think about it.
Yeah. And my friend who was a designer who had a beautiful home had some French wallpaper border that she actually had someone take an X-Acto knife to and cut it out to the design. And it was so beautiful to have that along. Yeah, it was actually very pretty. But in general, yes, I think its day has gone.
Yeah, its day probably has gone. Oh, my goodness. This one might cut a little close. Professional family portraits. And we're talking the big ones, like, a portrait of Crystal and whatever his name was, Carrington. That's
well, and
his name.
I don't know. I wasn't born yet.
That was also before my time.
Yeah,
me too.
So, but and I was a portrait photographer, so I took many of these portraits. I had them enlarged for people, and I had one 30 by 40 on my wall above the fireplace for my girls. I'm telling you.
That's pretty
It was
big.
really cute. They were having a little tea party. It was really sweet. I had a bunch of photos on my wall, and it kind of made me sad. But when we moved to this house 5 years ago, I took them all down. So, I mean, I enjoyed them, but I kind of felt like it was time for me to move on too.
I think it's probably really hard to decorate around something like that.
Yeah, probably so.
I like the newer idea of making a discrete wall, like a 9 square, and they don't have to be big photos. They can just be like maybe an 8 by 10, but that would be the mat, and all the frames are the same. There's a large white mat, and then there's a really pretty picture in the center. And I love having family photos. I probably wouldn't go the great big route, but I think there's definitely a place for family photos in a house.
Oh, hey, I got so excited about jumping into this episode. I'm not sure I was completely clear on how we ended up with this list. I just tripped upon this list when I was on the internet, and it sort of popped up on some sidebar somewhere that I was on. And I pulled it up, and I just thought, oh, this would be such a hoot to go through this list with Anita and Yvonne and our listeners and, see what everybody's opinion are. And some of the stuff you forgot about, and you were like, you blocked it out, like the toilet rugs and things like that. But, this stuff happened. This is reality. Okay. So anyway, just in case I wasn't clear, how about this one? Animal print anything.
Well, the animal prints, I don't think the time has gone for those. I think just be careful about how you use them. Use them judiciously. I think they're beautiful. I mean, I just recently bought a cheetah print purse. I think they're gorgeous. And, in your house, I think they're very nice. And now there's some updated versions of them. So I don't necessarily agree with this one.
Oh, I don't agree with it at all. I think animal print has its place all the time. It's a classic. I mean, it's like navy, it's like black, it's a neutral, really. And so, no, I don't agree with this list. Yvonne, what do you think?
I definitely think it's a classic, and I think it's sassy and fun. And I think a little goes a long way. Be very judicious how you use it.
Mm-hmm. Here's something that... a very little would go a long way.
She's laughing.
Bad.
Beaded curtains.
Oh, yeah.
They have nothing to say. Beaded curtains. There was a place. I liked the feel of them and the sound.
Just to clarify, we're not talking about curtains with a little beading on the edge. We're talking about curtains that are all beads, right?
Well, I don't know. Dude, this is just a list. I think you can interpret it any way you want.
I think they mean the things from the 60s where it was all beads from the ceiling.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Well, we could go with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, its day is gone.
Yes. I think even if you are heavy into boho, that might be just tipping the scale too far.
So agree.
Right? I don't think so. But I like the idea. I really do think somebody I knew had those, like my aunt or something when I was little.
Well, she must have been a hip aunt is all I can
remember she is hip. I remember like holding them on my hands and feeling it and making the sound. And I thought, oh, this is so fabulous.
Like, this is the epitome of coolness.
That's because you were little. That's because you were little.
I was so very little.
I know.
You probably listened to the Beatles too.
Okay, let's go back to the bathroom. Bidet.
Really? Are you sure? Do we have to?
I know. This is
I'm
just
getting scared.
Bidets.
Well, they're still popular in France.
Well, and
don't knock it till you've tried it. Don't knock it till you've tried it.
Okay, so bidets, nobody wants to talk about that.
Hey,
I just can't, honestly, it's so hard for me to even say the word toilet. I can't even, that's like as far as I can go. I'm so Victorian when it comes to the bathroom. I'm sorry.
That is so funny. Well, the Victorians were happy to have indoor plumbing, so I'm sure they would have been excited about a bidet. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But, aside from the functionality of it, it's just like, who's got the room? Like, I would rather put in a clawfoot tub. Like, I don't need that.
True.
And I guess, I don't know. I don't know if there's a multi-purpose situation, but okay, moving right along. This one can be controversial. So be ready.
Oh, I'm ready, baby.
And Rachel, if you're listening, I'm really sorry I didn't make this list. Shabby chic.
Oh.
Anything. No, say it ain't so.
Well, it's another one of those shiplap things. It's kind of been overdone. I mean, there's parts of shabby chic that I love, and some of it I think it's a bit much. So I don't know.
I think I love a little bit of shabby and a lot of chic. So, so I think shabby chic together. I think a touch of it here and there, but some people use that as their like 80% of what they decorate with. And I would say that's a bit overdone.
Well, I think, what the blog world calls shabby chic, I think has been overdone, but classic. But really, her designs were based on classic English country style. And I think that's still, it's still a go for me. Yeah.
But I think what I'm thinking though is, the shabby chic that most people do. And I'm thinking like, maybe not so much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the blog version of it's been overdone.
And as we say, if you do too much of one look, you want to break it up. You want to mix it up.
Exactly
so if
right.
it's all shabby chic and you look like you're walking into Rachel Ashwell's store on Santa Monica, which, back in the day was like a mecca, I mean, it was like, oh, it's all so beautiful. I mean, what's not beautiful about it? It's feminine and it's lovely and there's a lot of florals and, white, and it has this beautiful cottage feel to it. I mean, it's very appealing, but I think if, like anything, like if you had a room all filled with animal print, it's not great, but maybe if you had something chippy and then you put an animal print, or you got a chippy chair and then you covered it in some animal print or something like that, that could be pretty fab.
Now, there you go. Shabby chic meets animal print. That's a great one.
The Prairie, which is her bed and breakfast, and went through that and toured it, and her shabby chic couture shop there in Round Top, and it was lovely. I mean, it was just very comfortable. It was very comfortable and very inviting. I thought it was a lovely look. So,
don't you just love a great recommendation from a friend? Well, we're delighted to be recommending these companies and their wonderful products to you today, and let them know your friends at DTT sent you. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh, so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. We're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about. Visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfasts, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. How about rag rolled walls? Anita chuckles.
Because I did that. I did that back in
Was
the
it
90s.
peach?
No. Goodness, no. No, it was blue. But,
Blue.
you know, I had an inspector come because we were refinancing our home because the interest rates had gone way down. And he went in that room and he said, "You've got some serious cracks here." And finally said, "Oh, wait a minute, that's rag rolling."
Oh, my God.
So it almost cost me a loan.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's hilarious. Did you do it yourself?
Yes, of course I did.
Of
Why?
course,
You don't
yeah.
pay people to do that kind of stuff.
No,
do
you can't pay people to do that. Not exactly the way you want it. I remember reading all those tutorials. I did not try that, but this is not on the list, but I think you could do a rag/sponge painting.
Yeah.
Sponging.
Out.
I did a sponge wall in a bathroom, and I have to say it looked pretty bad. The ragging actually, now I've seen good and bad rag jobs, but I have to say mine was not bad looking because it just looked like a textured, plaster wall almost, only it was in blues. But right. I've seen them done bad. But no, they're still out though. I'm not saying do it. Don't do it. They're out.
I think anything that's textured anymore or has some kind of an effect to it, I think most of that is come and gone. Most of that has come and gone. So I think people...
Well, how about the Artex walls and ceilings? Now, we didn't even know what this was. We guessed, and we did guess right. Artex is a surface coating used for interior decorating that is most often on ceilings, which allows for some sort of texture. And then Artex was brought to the world by a company in England. So we have the British to blame for the popcorn ceiling.
Oh, well,
another British invasion.
Exactly.
Of the not nice kind.
Of the not nice kind. So if you want to remove your popcorn ceiling, we'll put a link to our friend Cindy's blog post on how she did that herself. She did a great job removing her popcorn ceiling from her lovely home. And it doesn't look like a fun job, but she'll take you step by step. But no.
I would say
putting in any popcorn. No one said, "Oh, the house is great, but I think if I put in some popcorn ceilings, it's really going to be perfect."
Yeah,
well, it was decorative.
Where did the idea even come from?
It came from Britain. They were trying to trick us. I don't know. They were trying to weaken us and have us busy doing our popcorn ceilings, and we wouldn't pay attention. They'd come and take us over again. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Crazy. Okay. How about living room bars?
Well, but that's the interesting thing. So the house we had before this one was a house that was built in the 70s. We moved in it in the 90s, but it had the living room wet bar, right, which then went out. But now I've noticed that they're saying bars are back in. But I don't know. It actually, and to add to insult to injury, the countertop was a faux leather brown look.
Oh. Is that like Naugahyde? What is that?
Well, it was Formica, but it was a textured leathery look, and it was awful.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it was
that's bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
When I first met Peter, he was renting a house. Like the summer after I first met him, he was renting a house with a group of guys out in the Hamptons, like a Hampton share house. So cool, right? And the house, I mean, you think, oh, house in the Hamptons, it must be so fabulous that, it must be like Ida Gardner's house or something. No. It was a place like that they would rent to 16 college or post-college guys. And it had a sunken living room.
Oh, at the time.
With this one side was like a giant bar, like a C-shaped bar. So gross.
Well, I don't mean to brag, but our house.
Well,
You don't.
so far you've been able to contain yourself, but I guess go ahead. Yeah.
But the house that we owned, the one in the 90s that we owned, not only had the wet bar with the faux leather countertop, it also had a sunken den, which just meant now there was no circle. No, it was just a step down. It's not as bad as it sounded. It was just a step down. But why would you even do that? I don't even get it.
Yeah, this was like truly sunken like a circle, and it had some sort
Well, there was
of
no
Swedish fireplace or something in the center of it. It was so bad.
Okay, thank goodness we weren't that cool.
No,
It was just a step down.
You just had a
Now,
step,
if you think-
basically. You had a step.
Now that my mind has gone back to the house, like you could make that house. It was out in Amagansett. You could make that house so cool, mid-century modern. Like it could be so
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
but it wasn't.
I'm going to reserve that because I have a feeling that's something that we might see again.
In living room bars, a la
No. I'm talking about the sunken living rooms.
Oh, the sunken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
She's
how
jealous of mine. I can just
Well,
tell.
well, yeah. Okay. Curtain pelments. I don't even know how to say that.
Pediments? Pendulum.
Spell it.
No, it's Pelmet. Pelmet. Anyway, it's a narrow border of cloth or wood.
She's just going to go into describing
A
it. Yeah.
cornice.
It's like a balance.
Of a door.
A cornice.
Or a window.
I'm thinking
It's a fancy
cornice.
It's
Yeah.
a fancy cornice. Yeah.
It's a fancy way to say cornice.
For the most part, a gone. And I don't know. They may come back at some time because they do have some decor value. At least that's what I think. But I won't use them in my house. But hey, who knows? They may come back.
But that goes along with a whole fancy curtain thing. Remember, of course, I know Kelly's not old enough to remember this. Ha ha ha. Wink,
God
wink,
bless
wink.
you.
But, the thing was you had to get a decorator out there, measure every single curtain, every single window, and have these fancy curtains made with all these trims with a fancy valance or cornice or whatever, with the shears underneath and I don't know, your mini blinds, I don't know, whatever. But all this stuff, every window was like $1,000.
You could have made 10 ball gowns out of one window if you were Scarlett O'Hara.
All this ornate stuff that is just totally out now. I mean, now you can just go to Pottery Barn or wherever and just buy the straight linen curtain panel and you're done.
Or make them yourself. But
make them yourself.
Anita, but what I'm thinking of is, don't you have a piece of like beautiful wood with lace curtains in your bathroom, framing your tub? That's what I'm thinking of. They can come back in so many. They could be morphed into so many different things.
That's just a rustic piece of barnwood.
But
that's not a balance.
But it's used as like a cornice to me.
Right, but there's no fabric on it.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. They could just be made up to be. You're
saying it's kind of morphed into into something else. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're. I think they're kind of innocuous. I mean, they don't offend me like, rugs in a bathroom would, like fuzzy toilet seat cover, because I do think they have a place where maybe you don't even want to have all the other fancy curtains, but you want to have something with some fabric on top just to bring your eye up. And if you did it yourself, or you had a handyman sort of just frame out some really simple piece of wood and then you put some batting and you wrapped it, you could do that yourself. I'm not going to say they're gone or that they should be gone.
Or I'd like to see how they're done.
On it.
BritBox just keeps getting better. The new Archie is amazing. And it's not the comics. It's about Cary Grant. Archie is the brand new limited series starring Jason Isaacs as Archie Leach, the man who became Cary Grant. From the award-winning screenwriter of Philomena, Archie tells Grant's born in Britain, made in Hollywood story, the dramatic grit to glamour transformation that led him to become one of the most famous people in the world. You are going to absolutely love the acting, but also the styling, the outfits, the scenery. It's the first time his story has been told in collaboration with his daughter Jennifer Grant and ex-wife Diane Cannon. The performances from Jason Isaacs and the rest of the cast are amazing, and it's only available on BritBox. So sign up for BritBox today to stream Archie and other fan favorites from any device. And we have a special limited time offer for our U.S. and Canadian listeners. Get 50% off, yes, that's 50% off your first month when you sign up for a monthly plan. But only if you go to BritBox.com and use our promotion code DTT at checkout. You're going to love Archie. So head over right now and get 50% off your first month of BritBox. Use the promotion code DTT at BritBox.com. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their ultra stretch super wide leg pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants.
If you have a house out in the country in the UK, hey, it's part of the style. I mean, I would not take it down if I had one of those homes. It goes with that look.
You mean if your name is Laura and your last name is Ashley, and then you could keep it?
Yeah. Something like that. Something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thought on that.
Yeah. Okay, well, then we'll do one more that kind of relates to that in a sense.
Okay.
How about floral chintz furniture?
If you're living in the UK and you're
If you're in the Cotswolds.
yeah, and your initials are LA.
And you've exported the popcorn ceilings to those silly Americans.
Yes.
And you've kept your chins and your elements. You're good.
Right. However, it would depend on this. Yeah, it would. If it's a fabric was bought 20 years ago, it's probably not going to work. But I've seen some charming new florals that wouldn't offend me on the furniture. And I'm not going to do it because I feel like it's going to look dated pretty quickly. But I could see some done nicely now.
I would say don't write them off, because I think that's something that could come again. Just like I think the fuzzy toilet seat cover should be like the poster child for, okay, this won't come back. But using that is a 0, and marble countertop as a 100, like as coming back again. This is probably 25. Okay.
Wow. Okay, now we have a whole scale.
Yeah. Well,
okay, I'm just going to say, hold on to your hats, chintz lovers or would-be chintz lovers, because I am jonesing to bring some chintz to bespokedecor.store. And I'm just trying to see how I can make that happen. But I do love a chintz.
A pretty one.
One of my favorite fabrics, my favorite fabric in the entire world is a chintz. And yes.
I think I had a sofa that was chintz, and I just sort of I'm over it. So I'm not the most objective judge in the world.
Yeah. I think also furniture,
I think done well. Yeah.
It might be too much.
Yeah.
Furniture, which is what is on this list. It's floral chintz furniture. And I'm really talking about accents and accessories.
Right. And I think the time has come. I could see some nice chintzes coming back.
And I love a chintz with an animal print.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
Do you know where I think we could use chintz? We could use it on our tables, like, dishes and cups. You know how beautiful that looks?
Oh, that is pretty.
Oh, very pretty.
There you go.
This was fun. Did you think?
Oh, yeah.
I
think we need a part 2.
We might have to have a
And I
part
just
two.
want anybody listening to chime in, while you're walking the dog, or chime in as you're working out. People might think you're a little crazy, but just do it. Chime in and give us your opinion. Or if you're in the car, yell out your answer.
Yeah. We went through pretty much the entire list. There were a few things that were sort of, crossover, so I combined them for us. So
we need to find another list. I think
there might be another list out there, although I think this one was pretty good.
Remember, we're here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time.
Thanks so much for listening to Decorating Tips and Tricks. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, then subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.